So hello everyone, I'm Chris Rochester. I'm the UK Director for Primary Engineer. And it's been my great privilege actually over the past almost 9 years to have been part of the If You're an Engineer, What Would You Do competition. And in particular to be part of the final judging panels to decide on the winners and to be part of the awards events and exhibitions where we champion the pupils who are our winners and shortlisted entries each year. One of the things that's absolutely extraordinary about this competition is the designs that pupils come up with each year. They absolutely blow us away with how they're showing us how engineering and technology can make the world a better place, and in particular how they've identified themselves with engineering around things that are important to them, the problems they want to solve. But what comes out of this are these incredible stories, the stories that the pupils are showing us and telling us, the stories that all of our amazing judges each year at the judging panels go away with, and they all literally have a story about a particular design that they wax lyrical about to anyone and everyone who will listen. And I think that that's a huge part of this. These stories are so important and actually underpin the whole competition. And I think from my point of view, I really wanted to share with you over the last few years some designs and some stories that have really resonated with me. And I think one from quite a few years ago now that still I talk about is the design that's the robotic earthworm. And this was a girl in primary, I think off the top of my head, she was year 3, who had designed a robotic earthworm that could be dropped down water pipes, and it had sensors on it and it would travel through the pipe, and the sensors would detect where there was a leak in the pipe. And what was really clever about this design was that this robotic earthworm didn't only detect where the leak is, it would then, once it found it, secrete a substance to seal the leak in the pipe and solve the problem. And this was a girl who lived in London, and she'd identified that this was a really big problem, that lots of the water pipes in London are very old and they are cracked and they're leaking, and a huge amount of water wastage happens through leaked pipes. So that was a really clever solution to a problem that I still talk about, and it was a really extraordinary design. Perhaps the more recent ones that I wanted to share with you, in particular, there were 2 this year that I've been talking to everybody about because they were just really clever solutions to problems. The first one was on the surface what looked like just a picture of a laptop, but on closer inspection what you realized was that under each of the keys there were these little squiggles. And when we looked at the labeling and the description that came with the design, the pupil that had designed this had said that these were special springs under each of the keys, so that as you were typing using your laptop, it was capturing the energy generated, and that energy would then be put back into the laptop to charge it. So in effect, as you're typing on your laptop, you were charging it. And we thought that this was just the most simple, brilliant solution to a problem. I know that quite often I've been out and about and my laptop's run out of battery and I've forgotten to bring my charger with me. So that idea of capturing that kinetic energy was a really good one. The other one that really sticks in my mind from this year was the design for, I suppose we would call it a robot, but it was actually a device to fill potholes in roads. And this pupil had identified that this problem is something that we are all very familiar with, and it is something that we need to address. But what was clever about this design was that this pupil had also identified that when we fix potholes, we have to close the lane or close the road so that people can fill the potholes and solve the problem. So what she designed was a device, and it looks like a robotic or mobile ramp. And this ramp travels down the road and it has sensors to detect the pothole. And when it detects it, it fills it with eco concrete or eco tarmac. And then it's able to set it as well. But the beautiful part about this is because it's shaped like a ramp and in effect is a mobile ramp, it means that cars can drive over it. So it means that you don't have to close the road. This device just fills the potholes and the traffic carries on as normal. And when it came to the judging panel, every single judge in that room on that day, all of these amazing people from the world of engineering, both industry and academia, looked at this design and said, this is a really clever solution to a problem and something that we really need in the world. So I think that I could talk about designs. I've seen a huge number of them over the year, and I could talk about them all afternoon. But I think that what I would say is the stories are hugely important. The stories that back up these designs, where when we receive the letters and we read them at the judging panels that go with the designs, the pupils all have a story about why this is the problem they have selected to solve and why this is the best solution for that problem. And I think that that's one of the things that is unique to this competition and one of the things that makes it incredibly special.